When it came to the Australian release of The Materialist, my mind was like, I'm very adamant in not seeing it, because there's nothing about this poster that lures me in. Okay, fine, you've got Chris Evans. He doesn't really have a good track record in the last couple of years since leaving Marvel. Okay, fine, you have Dakota Johnson. I don't really follow her career. And you've got Pedro Pascal, who again, I don't really follow his career. So I was like, look, I'm only seeing this because I have a few hours to kill before work, so why not give it a chance? I did, and I regret it so much. The only upside is I paid $9 for a ticket, so I'm not complaining, but also like, what? In all fairness, I didn't see the trailers, so I didn't necessarily know what I was getting into, but everything that I heard from other audiences said that this was a love triangle. It's a why choose. It's a how can you choose between Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal? It's a girl, have them both. Girl, you're a love marketer. Like, you should go for both. Like, that's in my head. I'm going, oh, it's a why choose. In my head, it's a she doesn't need to pick two. She can have both. You know, like polyamory exists. Hello. But no. Instead, I got this story with absolutely no chemistry. The first scene that Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal have, I'm sitting there going, you want me to believe that you're going to be a potential love interest for her, when in reality, both of you were just sitting there and having a conversation. The first scene between Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans, again, you want me to believe that you're ex-partners, but I'm not seeing the exes there. I'm seeing two people who just happen to bump into each other, and now I have to have this really awkward conversation of like, yep, I'm good. How are you? Yeah, work's good. Yep. I mean, not much I can talk about. And it felt so uncomfortable. As I continued watching, Pedro Pascal's probably in the film for a total of 20 minutes. And all he does, majority of his scenes, is sleep. There's an implied sex scene between Dakota and Pedro, but they just sleep. So it's kind of boring. And then with the Chris Evans one, he's kind of just there playing like the, yes, I'm here for a paycheck, but I'm really fucking bored and I'm really desperate. Like, he didn't have his head in the game. Pedro at least attempted. Dakota was reading lines, and I'm like, cool. You want me to believe this, but then the whole point of this storyline is that you're trying to convince audiences that we need to settle and we need to be thankful for the first person that lands in our lap, when in reality we shouldn't be settling. We should be, yes, having our expectations, but we also should be mindful that these expectations are always not able to be met, but not encouraging us to settle and go back to the ex that you knew you had problems with because you didn't like their lifestyle choices. It just made me sit there going, why am I watching this? You know, when I saw this poster, I was like, it's giving early 2000s rom-coms. You know, think, oh my god, why have I forgot their name? You know, like, think How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Think most Jack Nicholson rom-com movies. Think all those other ones. Maybe Love Actually you can throw in there, but there's nothing here. The only thing I attempted to care about was Sophie. This character, Sophie, who's struggling to find dates. In one of her dates, she gets alleged sexually assaulted. You don't see it, you just hear the, yes, she got assaulted, but who cares? I cared about Sophie's storyline more than I did about these three. I cared about a woman who had a total of 10 minutes screen time, and the whole time she's sitting there begging for a date. Begging for attention. And the whole time she's on screen, in 5 of those 10 minutes, is that she's telling you she got sexually assaulted, and you're doing nothing. Like, I had more invested in a 10-minute character than any of these three characters. It's incredibly boring. Like, movies like this are the reason why romance movies and rom-coms are just not for me, because you're telling me that I'm not supposed to have expectations. You're giving me every little scenario that feels so stereotyped. Yes, I know men want a particular type of woman. Yes, I know women want a particular type of partner. But you telling me something that I already know is just not going to work in my favor. So there's no sustenance. You're giving me nothing. And I'm taking away desperation. Which, I mean, I get it, I'm 30 years old, I'm also single. But I don't think I want to be reeking of desperation and begging for a man to just settle for me when I know I can do better, especially with the chance that I actually want to be happy with somebody and not just go, yes, I'm going to date you because, well, you gave me a chance. You know, like, no, that's what this movie is implying, and it's so icky. It's just, no.